You can join.
Yeah.
Join?
I informed Justice Nawaz. He's joining.
Yeah, he's joining now. Yeah.
I should compliment the efforts. Abhishek, you've done a wonderful job. And
thank you so much, sir. Really means a lot. Your words means a lot.
Response and extraordinary sense of confidence after seeing the videos. The younger generation is completely is going to take the new world order. I'm confident.
Thank you so much.
Our Indian youths are second to none, and extraordinary exhibition of talents. And the content is quite powerful. The message.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So much passion came in. I could see many of them demonstrated high caliber presentation in global terms. I've been living around the world for last 35 years, but good set of dispositions from many of the students. I should compliment. So, students all join?
Yes, the students all join.
I could see.
We are waiting for justice.
Divya and the rest of the names. It's not in my screen at least. Yes, I could see Gopika now.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Hi. Good evening. Divya name is there, and all of you have done very well, extremely well. I should compliment.
Thank you so much, sir.
And Tilakavati was there, and Harish was there. Sonu Mehta was there.
Hello.
These are the shortlisted.
Rashid. Hello. Hello. Yes, Rashid.
I'm here.
Yeah. Justice Nawaz sir joined. Yeah. So I welcome all the participants. I welcome all the participants of finals, and then I welcome our chief guest and judges. I'm very happy to have you all here.
Yes. Mr. Abhishek, right.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean. Yes.
No, ಜ್ವರ ಬಿಡ ಮಾಟೇಂಗಿದೆ.
Unmute the phone.
Please unmute. We request the finals participants to kindly unmute their phone, please. Please mute your phone, please. It's humble request. So after everyone joins, we will be commencing our valedictory session in just 2 minutes. So kindly join participants and please mute your voice.
அப்படிதான் சொல்றாங்க.
Abhishek, you start.
Yeah. All the participants came, and then now I'll be starting the session. So I thank all the participants, our chief guests and judges for joining us today in the valedictory session of National Castro's virtual Indian Parliament on role of youth in making self-reliant India post-COVID-19. India's first ever virtual national parliament. So first I will give my introduction remarks. I have to explain you all the report of the progress of this National Castro's virtual Indian Parliament and role of youth in making self-reliant India. So based on the report, I will explain you the report in brief. So through our invitation to the entire nation on this initiative to various colleges, various legal institutions, schools, and then we received 591 participation submissions. 591. Out of 591 participation submissions, I'm telling 474 participation before the last date, and then 117 participation after the last date. So that 170 participation standard rejected because they submitted after the last date. So we took for judging for the preliminary rounds 474 participants. So as a whole 591, 474 we took for judging. And out of 474, we already fixed a target. 20 only will be selected to enter into the main round. So out of the 474, 145 submissions was in regional languages like Telugu, Malayalam, Kannadam, in these languages. So we rejected because our competition medium of language is English. So we rejected that 145 also out of 474, and we selected these 20 participants. And then out of the 20 participants, they entered into the main round. In the main round, out of the 20 participants, we selected only 8 participants. So for the preliminary rounds, we had judges from the state of Kerala. One is Mr. Abdul Bazeed. He is a researcher, law researcher. And then another person is the Arya Suresh. She is the best parliamentarian of GLC Kochi for 2018 and 2019 subsequently. And for the main round, we had a convener of Council for Transforming India, Rohit Rao Wakrala from Telangana as a judge. And he selected 8 participants. These are these people. They entered the finals round. So in the finals round, I am very much happy, I am very much proud, and it's a great honor for the entire nation, to the entire youth power, that our Honorable Justice Nawaz sir, President of the Court of Appeal Sri Lanka, is the guest, and then Dr.Raghavan Seetharaman sir, CEO of Doha Bank, is the guest, and Advocate R.Prabhakaran sir, Advocate of the Supreme Court of India, as a chief guest, and then the judge of the finals. We are very much privileged. I bow down my head, and then I thank you all. Really means a lot. So that then we have our guidelines and our rules and regulations is we permitted this competition for all the age people from various walks of life. They participated. We did not kept age restriction. We have kept it open. Every Indians can participate. That is our judging criteria. No registration fee we charged. And then this competition ultimate aim is to bring out leadership quality, public speaking skills, and then the students' power to lead, to take initiative. So that's the primary objective of launching this initiative national wide. And then we had 3 rounds: prelims, mains, and finals. And then eminent judges were part of the judging panel of each round. So this is the progress report of the entire NCVIP 2020. So now I will give my introduction about the chief guest and judges of the finals. Honorable Justice A.H.M.D.Nawaz, President of the Court of Appeal. Honorable Justice A.H.M.D.Nawaz is an incumbent president of the Court of Appeal, Sri Lanka. Sir has done his 3 LLM, LLM Sri Lanka, LLM King's College, London with a Chowning Scholarship, LLM USA, Fulbright Humphrey Scholarship. This is Sir's great achievements. And Sir has been appointed as the President of the Court of Appeal, Sri Lanka. He is one of the senior most judge in the Sri Lankan nation. And Honorable Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa appointed him as the President of the Court of Appeal, Sri Lanka. We are very much proud to have you here, sir. Salutes to you, and then we are very much proud to have you as a chief guest and judge of the finals in National Castro's Virtual Indian Parliament. I am so much honored, sir. Thank you so much for being with us. So next, we have our judge. He's a great personality, and his name is Dr. Raghavan Seetharaman, sir, CEO of Doha Bank, Doha, Qatar. So now Sir's profile will be projected on screen. I request Doha Bank host to project Sir's profile on screen.
Dr. R. Seetharaman Chief Executive Officer of Doha Bank, is a recipient of multiple doctorates from leading universities in the world.
Recognition of your extraordinary leadership and your achievements in global banking, Washington College is pleased to present to Raghavan Seetharaman the honorary degree Doctor of Law.
Including a PhD in Global Governance by European University and PhD in Green Banking and Sustainability from Shri University. Recently, he was conferred Honour of Doctoral Fellowship by Sri.R. Institute of Indian Management for his outstanding contribution to global economics, international banking, and in recognition of his thesis titled Economic Implications of Global Citizenship. In 2017, he was recognised and conferred by the Government of India with the prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award, the highest honour conferred on overseas Indians by the Government of India. He was conferred with the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Banker Middle East to honour his contribution to the industry and his support for the environment and the business. He has also received Lifetime Achievement Award from the Institute of Directors. And being a high-profile economist, he is invited on a regular basis by international media such as BBC, CNN, Fox, CNBC, Sky News, ABC and Bloomberg to share his views.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Really, we are very much proud to have you here. You are a great inspiration and motivation to the entire young India. I am very much proud to have you here as a chief guest and judge of the finals of National Castro's Virtual Indian Parliament 2020. Now, our next chief guest and judges, he's a dynamic lawyer and is a great intellectual, versatile personality, Advocate R.Prabhakaran, Advocate Supreme Court of India, Chairman and Managing Partner of Prouda Law Associates. Sir is a proud alumni of my own institution, Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University. I am proud to have you, sir, here. And sir is a gold medalist in BABL, and sir is a gold medalist in Master of Laws ML, and then attorney at Law Cost of USA. Sir was a legal advisor to Ford, America, United States of America, and a great legal scholar. He received India's Super Brain, Best Super Brain Award from Competition Success Review. And then sir has offices in Chennai, New Delhi, Doha, and Dubai. So welcome you, sir. Welcome you. We salute you. NCVIP 2020 salutes Advocate R.Prabhakaran, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. So now I have finished the introduction address and then the introduction about the judges and the chief guests and the judges of the finals of NCVIP 2020. Now the judges will be addressing you all and judges will be declaring the results subsequently. I request Honorable Justice Nawaz, sir, President of the Court of Appeal, Sri Lanka, to address the participants.
Right. My honorable members of the panel of judges, Dr. Seetharaman, and very eminent advocate in Chennai, Mr. Prabhakaran, and Namaste, Mr. Abhishake Castro, and all other participants who have tuned in today, right, who are waiting with bated breath to find out the results of some hectic rounds of a very laudable objective that was indeed initiated and launched with great efficacy right throughout India. I think Mr. Abhishake Castro must be complimented for all his efforts, to do this, and then an oratorical contest on a very pertinent topic such as this is indeed a great impetus and stimulus to not only students but also lawyers, advocates, and everybody in many a walk of life. And I would say that the topic is quite relevant. We are fighting a common enemy now, right? We have become bonded by this great enemy, which is invisible, the enemy of COVID-19. And see how technology has brought us together. We are all in one family, listening to this great speeches, and even participating in a valedictory session. In fact, I remember participating in several programs of this nature in India, and I used to love the kind of flight and the participatory spirit that was engendered and generated by those flights. In fact, Mr. Prabhakaran, that great advocate who is there, was always the live wire of my participation in all those programs. And but I used to love those trips, but now I find the trip has come to virtually an end. I hope that this will disappear and we will once again meet physically in that lovely continent, which is always very much after my heart, because of the close proximity that Sri Lanka enjoys with India. And I must say this, we share many a bond, and India has always attracted me wherever I went. As you heard, that my education was in both the United Kingdom and the US, and I met a large number of Indians as my friends in my courses, and there was absolute harmony that ran through our meetings, and then some of the relationships and friendships still last. And India has always struck me collectively as a nation, which is looked upon by many a nation in the West because of its multifarious components of talents which have manifested itself in many a field. I can even break them into various components: science, sports, commerce, cricket, cinema, diplomacy, and all else. In fact, after a very heavy day in court, I always relax with an Indian film on my TV, and it titillates me, and then Indian music so this is how India is perceived from another man's eye. In other words, in science, we look at India as a manufacturer of vaccines and drugs. Why India is looked to for such great innovations? It's because of the quality assurance that India gives. The quality, and I used to be amazed by Indian graduates working in various parts of the world. You can see so many of them working in so many establishments, firms and universities abroad. Why? Because quality is assured by India. So and take music, for instance. A.R. Rahman is no longer regarded as an Indian musicologist, more than he is remembered as a global musicologist. So I look upon him. So India has that legacy. It has left behind a legacy of globalism. It has expanded itself in its various branches of innovations, and I will always remember that great book which I read with enthusiasm. That great man who is remembered by your country, and he was your distinguished president, Mr. Kalam, whose work, Wings of Fire, always fired me and energized me. So therefore, if India is strong and agile, right, all its neighbors will definitely grow together. And so India cannot look inwards. India has to look outwards. I have always seen that as the only way out, because there was colonialism which haunted both Sri Lanka and India, but we have got away from that, and we have made use of that. to expand ourselves in many a branch. And Indian jurisprudence, I must say, as a judge, I have discussed Indian jurisprudence with my good friend Prabhakaran, and they always animate me. Whenever I sit down to write a judgment, I always would love to compare Indian jurisprudence with mine, because the acts are same, the identical legislations are still prevailing in the country, so that's how India has led the world. So then we look to India for all this, and so self-reliance and international relations must be the theme. And I must compliment the organizer of this pan-Indian contest for choosing this topical theme that was well dealt with, I must say, by the 8 participants whom I listened with great gusto and glee over the last 2-3 days. In fact, the way they presented themselves, I have been taught by Indian teachers. You know, there was an Indian teacher who taught me in Washington, right? So I think memories of those great associations came back to me when I saw your participations ponder so much on this great topic. And we had, I must say, they gave us a tough time in choosing the best 3, and it was, and finally when we met, it was quite unanimous when we chose our first 3. That goes to show that these participants had a lot to tell us, and we had a lot to agree with them. So I must say, the contest of this nature must be promoted. They develop the consciousness of the younger generation of India, not only younger generation of India, it promotes it stimulates many a person in Sri Lanka as well, as I am going to show these speeches to many a university where I go and lecture as an adjunct faculty. So I must say, all in all, I was extremely fortunate to watch these videos, watch these presentations. I was glad that I was able to look at the perspectives of these great speakers whom I heard, right? Every one of them held out a promise for India. Every one of them was quite articulate, and we judged them on a number of components which Dr. Seetharaman will elaborate when he speaks to you. And so, on behalf of all these participants who took part, I must say, great going. You must continue to shine in your fields, and you have great potential. And thank you very much for inviting me to be the chief guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words and wishes really means a lot. It's such an empowerment. It's such a great empowerment to the entire young generations. And always India is with Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is with India.
Of course.
Always. Okay, next our chief guest and judge of the finals, a great genius, a versatile personality, and a great inspiration to me and all of us. So Dr. Raghavan Seetharaman, sir, CEO of Doha Bank, will be addressing us.
Thank you, Mr. Abhishek.
Thank you, sir.
Honorable Justice A.H.M.D.Nawaz, President of the Court of Appeal, Sri Lanka. My dear friend, Advocate R.Prabhakaran, Supreme Court of India, and again, Chairman and Managing Director of Pravida Law Associates. National Castro Virtual Indian Parliament 2020 has been a great source of innovation and inspiration for the new generations. It's an extraordinary attempt, and I compliment the 591 numbers which you mentioned, Abhishek.
Thank you, sir.
Stupendous task, and you have done it meticulously, and the turnout has been extraordinary. The Justice has already spelled out with so much passion. I think the effort needs to be respected, and everyone has performed well. It is very difficult to differentiate, and the scorecard, when I was tailoring, it was so difficult for us to distinguish who is going to be the first 3. So let me reassure once again, it was Absolutely a good attempt, but difficult to distinguish between the winners and losers. But all of you are all winners. That's what the substance we want to give it to you. And the criteria which has been mentioned, the substance in terms of content, and again, the oratory skills, the body language, the expressions, again, solution provision, and the time management, and the way it has been articulated has been extraordinary. So
Thank you.
you all have exhibited great talents and better days yet to come. Coming to the concept which has been mentioned, Abhishek asked me to speak for 5 to 7 minutes. Let me comprehend. We live in a changing world, extraordinary set of changes and challenges we are going through. We have lost almost 600,000 people in global terms. We have over 13 million people have been infected. We had extraordinary set of risk and governance we are going through in terms of global framework, economic risk, social risk, human risk, environmental risk. We have recognized it in an interconnected, interdependent world. When we recognize this is going to be a pandemic in early March, we never knew the gravity and the magnitude of the overall impact. International Monetary Fund came with a clear forecast last year when I was in Washington. Nearly 3.7% should be the global growth last year, October. In January, when we redefined it in Davos, Switzerland, it was downgraded because of the contentious issues in terms of trade between developed world and developing world, and the global growth was slowing down, and we revised downwards to 3%. When we recognize this pandemic, IMF has to spell it out in April in a spring meeting in Washington again, through virtual meeting, that is going to be not more than 3.7% contraction. This is a huge difference. You have to sum it up. 6.7% contraction in the span of 2 months. That's the recognition we had. So how do we make sure the world at large is going to come out of the disaster recovery and have a sustainable economics? That's the contention. How do we move from the discontinuity of the Great Recession after 1930 depression? This is creating a huge impact in total terms. So how do we make sure the liquidity crisis, we have to fix it. The liquidity comes out of the monetary policy, money supply, interest rate, inflation comes out of the central banker. He's a technocrat. The fiscal, the political alignment has to come between the fiscal and monetary prudence that comes out of the politician, the government. The fiscal and monetary alignment has to be the convergence we recognize, because liquidity crisis should not move into a funding and solvency issue and sovereign issue in total terms. Humanity is being challenged. In 2008, when we had the financial crisis, it was confined to only financial sector. It was confined to only advanced economies. Advanced economies were grossly underperforming on account of the subprime crisis. When it comes to developing economies or emerging market, we were scoring well. So essentially, the liquidity has to move into a solvency in terms of sustainable value chain. How do we make sure this crisis is going to stop in terms of economic governance? So we said we will improve the money supply. We will put the money on the hands of the individual or institutions by offering additional liquidity to financial institutions. In turn, the government given the provision not less than 10 to 15% across the globe. America has put multi-trillion in place, and European Central Bank came with this 3.6 trillion again. Globally, we released around 22 trillion so far, assuming there will be no second wave. So individual or institutions have pumped additional money. The money supply has eased the debt servicing and your existence, so that we don't have a disruption in the overall business continuity. And that's what we need. That's what precisely we managed to. And again, we reduce the we reduce the interest rate as a policy definition, and we improve the overall consumption patterns. Some governments have even given direct funding to individuals so that their subsistence is not challenged. These are the multi-pronged measures we have taken to see global economic supports. In terms of social risk management, we recognize we have to maintain social distancing. We have to make sure hygiene is important. We have to necessarily make sure we protect through multiple healthcare systems globally. This is being challenged. Overnight, it's human-to-human transmission. Your job becomes, how do we eradicate extreme poverty? How do we ensure food security? How do we ensure healthcare systems? How do we ensure the paramedics or nurses or front-end staffs, they live and also administer these patients? It's a huge, huge reorganization. That's the social risk and healthcare risk we have had. When it comes to environment, there's an absolute disruption in terms of global economy. Your complete disruption is nothing but paralysis in the whole system. So, in terms of sustainable value creation, the positive reflection is also important. While I maintain the risk or measure the risk, we have to map it into sustainable value chain. How do we do that? We learn lessons. Digital governance can be a solution. That's what Justice was mentioning. We have to recognize everything has to be virtual. Even in a financial service like us, transaction-based processing has to happen by social distancing and digital governance through multiple artificial intelligence or social media tools or blockchain or technology is an enabler for us to see through global governance comes to e-governance. And that's what the logic behind our own connectivity today. So we have learned lessons to make sure we will eradicate extreme poverty. We have learned lessons in positive terms. We will build food security. We also learn education is important. A global value chain in terms of education comes in by electronic media, online, offline, offshore, onshore. We could connect and make sure there is no disruption to education. And that's a huge positive reflection. Gender equality can come in. Housewives can become more intellectual by virtue of this digital governance. Let's learn the positive side of these lessons. And ensuring hygiene is extremely important. Whether it's developed world or developing world, we have seen the reflection in terms of mortality. And we have to here protect. And once the vaccine is administered to the entire humanity, we are talking about 7 billion people, our new social order will begin. Clearly, we have interconnectivity, interdependence in the new world order. When it comes to global governance, we are building greener economies now. For example, I could see the reflection in multiple dispositions when the debate was, I was going through yesterday. I could clearly see the younger generation is so prolific in the energy mix. They want to bring in alternates. They want to create a carbon neutral society. They want to reduce the carbon emission. They want to bring in solar, wind, biomass, biofuels. This is a great news. By increasing the digital governance, by ensuring even 5% enhancement of the digital access can bring in not less than 538 megatons of carbon emission. Almost over 400 coal mines can be closed. Essentially, the energy mix has to change. Countries like India, where still 87% of the carbon emission is on account of fossil fuels. So we have to move on energy mix on renewables. That's a greater development. To build sustainable value chain, greater sustainable economies, you need green economies. And that's a great lesson. This crisis has created an enormous amount of value chain in making sure we create better green economies. And that's an advantage. Here is the famous judge sitting across. Let's understand. Today, commercial disputes today, we are transacting on virtual form. Bureaucracy has to be eliminated in terms of business or social justice. Justice is nothing but truth in action. When we recognize the opportunity, if commercial courts or civil courts can be integrated, lawyer or upper court can be integrated, interstate dependence can be, bureaucracy can be minimized through digital governance. Look at the possibilities in terms of speedy accuracy, in terms of speed and justice governance systems. You have a huge opportunity to minimize. You have forward-looking dynamics. It's so promising. This crisis is going to create new world order, which is going to be productive for the humanity and human prosperity. The world at large has realized also we have to come to terms in terms of global partnership. We cannot isolate ourselves in terms of interconnectivity. And that is precisely the reason why we live in a world now which is going to be flat. Today, the mass migration has given us enormous opportunity to connect virtual. You can create, based on the skill matrix you have, you can create a Silicon Valley in India, a business process outsourcing, knowledge process outsourcing, where location-centric, once upon a time, it is no more location-centric, it's information-centric. Interconnectivity can create value chains, which is redefining the world from round to flat. So your job descriptions becomes more prolific, your skill matrix becomes more prolific, wherever you are, whichever be the country you belong to, whichever be the caste, creed, race, or religion you belong to, you will be priced uniformly. If you go to Starbucks cafe in New York, the price is comparable to when you have a Starbucks in Chennai or even Mumbai or Barcelona or Bangladesh. So uniformity comes in when it comes to social justice. Income inequality can be reduced by this process. So have become have-nots, the gap becomes wider on account of globalization can be minimized. This crisis is giving you an impeccable, valuable measurement in terms of bringing down the income inequality. So social justice becomes more prudent, relevant to humanity and human values. The list goes on. When it comes to consumption patterns, the value chain changes. When it comes to supply chain, the value systems are going to be transformed. So this crisis is an opportunity. That's what Indian youth should realize. This crisis, even though it has created enormous amount of discomfort, disruption, discontinuity in the global framework, global governance is getting redefined to produce a new world order, which is going to be more human-driven, human consciousness. That's what integration of your heart and mind. That's eternal. That's a beautiful Oriental saying. If you aim at short term, you cultivate flowers. If you aim at medium term, you cultivate trees. When you aim at long term, you build humanity, eternity. And that's what Vivekananda said. I could see some of them quoting Vivekananda, arise and awake. This new world order is full of opportunities. India itself is a country of great heritage, culture, civilization, values. Justice, as already said, whatever he has to say in complimenting India. We are proud Indians in recognizing global citizenship is all about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It's one world, one citizenship. I'm a keen advocate of one world, global citizenship. We love humanity. We love everyone. We like everyone. Every day is interesting. Every day is inspiration. Every day is motivational. And that's what we need to understand. Again, it is ignorance, it is inequality, and it is desire, which are circulating and making this world vibrant. By creating, recognizing this flower of spirituality, recognizing the value stream in terms of integrating your heart and mind as an internal drive. That's what everyone has done. Meditation, prayer, recognizing your internal strength, integrating the human values. We can emulate a better world. India is here to stay for many more centuries as a top driver. The global economics is now giving enormous amount of indications, demographic dividends in terms of 65% of the population less than 35, and the kind of developing free market policies India is emulating of late in the last 6 to 7 years, and the brand equities is built in. I operate in 20 countries as an administration of a bank. So essentially, we are seeing the brand equities building. India is second to none. Many of you have reflected in multiple forms and substance your thoughts, and these thoughts are synchronizing in terms of global economics, global politics, That's why G7 has become G8, G8 has become G20. And today, we're going to close the gap in terms of one world. And we are going to be human conscious. We have to develop the spirit of righteousness. Let me quote, draw from the inspiration of what Justice has mentioned. When there is righteousness in your heart, who said this? A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. There's beauty in your character. When there is beauty in your character, there is harmony in your home. When there is harmony in your home, there is order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. And that's what we need to know. We are second to none. But one thing, you as youth, let me bring in Gandhiji to close. Wealth without work. Wealth without work. Politics without principles. Religion without sacrifice. Science without humanity. Okay. Commerce without morality. Knowledge without character is of no substance. These are sins. Your thought becomes actions. Action becomes habits. Habits become character. Character becomes your destiny. You desire your destiny. You are the youth. You are empowered to run this world, to be, not only create a better world, better citizenship to this world. Your future is bright, I tell you. Your future is going to be much better. We all aspire to create a generation which is much better than the previous generations. That's our hope. With these words, I compliment the organizers and again compliment the participants, one and all, 591 participants, in bringing this new world order. Let's celebrate the youth. Let's celebrate the new world order to see. We learn lessons, but this experience is history. Today's gift is tomorrow's solutions. And that's what we believe in. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the great words. It was an excellent speech with great words and informative content. And then you have talked about all the economic perspective, which I requested. Really, we are very much happy, sir. It was a very inspiring speech. Thank you so much, sir. So next.
I've exceeded time.
Thank you so much, sir. Even you speak for next 1 hour, we will be there to listen because it was very interesting when you're talking on the subject matter. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Means a lot. So now I will introduce our next chief guest and judge, Advocate R.Prabhakaran, sir, Advocate, Supreme Court of India, Chairman and Managing Partner of Prouder Law Associates. Sir, it's your turn to address the participants.
Respected Justice Nawaz and respected Dr. Seetharaman, sir. Both the chief guests have covered the topic in extenso. Hence, I will not take much time. I will make my speech in a brevity. As referred by Dr. Seetharaman, sir, Gandhi's quote, Mahatma Gandhi's yet another quote comes into my mind. He said, there is everything in this world there is nothing in this world for a single man's greed, but there is everything in this world for every man's need. So now the world has gone into very turbulent times, most difficult times. Even one of the participants in the lecture, they referred about Thomas Friedman's quote. That is, the demography of the world is going to be in two phases. One is BC and AC, before Corona and after Corona. So the COVID has taught us a very invaluable lessons, the art of humanity. Justice Nawaz sir spoke about and dealt with the legal aspects. Dr. Seetharaman sir in extension has covered about the business aspects. Majority of the contenders who participated in the competition, they have shown a lot of valuable insight, foresight, forcibility, and a strong perseverance, determination, and strong will and desire to change the nation. Because it was Dr. Abdul Kalam's dream to have a new India in the year 2020. At the dawn of the new year 2020, nobody would have thought that the world will undergo such a tumultuous crisis. But as referred, in every adversity, there is an opportunity. It is only the law students, because most of the winners in the competition happens to be a law student. In law, we used to refer everything under the sky. That is, we say Azerbaijan to Zimbabwe, anthropology to zoology. So Seetharaman sir was also referring to a lot of aspects on financial various aspects. Justice Nawaz shared about his experience about his vision about even including R. Rahman, cricket, everything he has covered. And it has given us really a lot of wisdom and knowledge. They say in every adversity there is an opportunity. The culminating point is, as said by Dr. Martin Luther King, the ultimate measure of a man is not found in terms of comfort and convenience. The ultimate measure of a man is not found in times of comfort and convenience, but in times of challenge and controversy. So the same thing applies to a nation too. Now we have got a very difficult times. The most difficult times, what should not be lost sight of the fact is that humanity. Because one speaker, Mr. Seeman, was referring to a lot of the basic insights about the traders, because the government is trying to change the laws against the workers because everybody is under crisis. So there has to be a balanced, proactive approach. In the eyes of justice, we are Krishna here because we need to have a social justice system. Because Darwin's theory should not be proved right. Because survival of the fittest should not be the rule of the law. The rule of the law is even the vulnerable, marginalized, the weak, the poor, people who are indolent, indigent, illiterate, ignorant has to be protected. So to sum up, Abhishek has taken a very good initiative, self-reliant India. Because if India is self-reliant, it can be a global player and it will change the dynamics of the country. So we have set a benchmark example for more than 5,000 years. India of nation which has never invaded anybody. But this virus has invaded everywhere. It has percolated and it has deep penetrated even into our own territory and domain. But with our resilience, with our resurgence, with our indomitable will and spirit, we can overcome even unsurmountable obstacles. Insurmountable obstacles can be overcome. Such is the vision of the youth, the power of a nation. Because Swami Vivekananda said, give me 100 youth, you can change the destiny of a country. Now we have got a very terrific youth, because when we see all the judges, including Justice Nawaz and Dr. Seetharaman, felt the same, because there was a fire in their belly, in the mind, wings of fire. So Dr. Seetharaman, Justice Nawaz, two embodiment of example, because they have overcome a lot of the obstacles, difficulties. Overcoming this, they have proved that. The same way, India can rise to a great nation only in times of crisis. Because normal situation is different. Now we have to sensitize the situation, and we should not forget that one remaining principle of Swami Vivekananda. He says, feel my children, feel for the poor, feel for the weak, feel for the ignorant, till your heart stops, blood reels. So I think all of them have generated a very good vision and views. If that view is implemented in toto, the 1 billion population of India and all the Indians living across the globe, Justice Nawaz, including Dr. Seetharaman, is a proud non-resident Indians who are doing proud everywhere. So all the people who has got the Indian blood in their heart and vein can make our nations proud, and the dreams of forefathers, all the people, including Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, and Dr. Abdul Kalam, should come true by this initiative. It's a good deliberation, mind-boggling thing for everyone to debate, discuss, analyze, and to implement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Advocate R.Prabhakaran, sir. For your empowering, inspiring speech. It really means a lot. And now, before going to the most expected moment, I want to quote one of the Kural from Tirukural. Perumai udayavar aatruvar aatrin, arumai udaya seyal. In the Tirukural, Thirulur tries to convey glorious people will do actions which are exemplary. So I see all the participants of NCVIP are the glorious people. You all are born to do exemplary things. You all are born to lead our nation. I hope in the future, I strongly believe you will create wonders and you will be the torch bearers of our Bharat. So I thank all the chief guests, judges of the finals for the wonderful address on the various perspective, contemporary issues, economic perspective, cultural perspective, and then ideological perspective, meditation, all those stuff they have covered, morality, everything they have covered. Really, it is I'm planning to publish a book on the speeches. I'm planning to do this. It is really a great speech, sir. I thank wholeheartedly all the judges for the wonderful speech and the wonderful address. Now, the most expected moment we reached. So now I request Advocate R.Prabhakaran, sir, Advocate Supreme Court of India, Chairman and Managing Partner of Prouda Law Associates, to announce the third place winner, national level third winner of NCVIP 2020.
Thank you, Abhishek. It gives me immense pleasure and pride to announce the winners of this contest. As referred by everyone has done an exceptional work. The third prize, but we have to, based upon certain criteria, unanimous view reached by all the three judges. The third prize winner is Mr. Seeman. Mr. Seeman, I have pride in announcing the third prize winner is Mr. Seeman.
Congratulations, Mr. Sri Shriman. Sri Shriman belongs to School of Excellence in Law, Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University. And he is one of the good student. He is a good orator and mooter in the School of Excellence in Law campus. And I am very much proud he is my junior.
Mr. Abhishek, can we see him? Can we see him? Can we see?
We request the host to project Sri Shriman.
So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity, sir.
Right. Congratulations.
Right. Congratulations.
And the new style of costume he wear, it was part of it. You noticed dhoti, and on top of it, he was putting a Modi jacket. Sure.
Yeah. That also took my fancy, I must say.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are coming to the second place winner, the national level second place winner. Dr.Raghavan Seetharaman, sir, CEO of Doha Bank, will announce the second national winner of NCVIP 2020.
As all the judges have mentioned, all of you are great. I mean, that was the reason why I got inspired today to say a few more words. It's very, very difficult to distinguish. In fact, what I did was to look at objectively and see the score. We created a scorecard which we shared. All of us have reached the same conclusion. So first of all, you should be reassured that none of you are the loser. The content was explicit in many topics, and many of the participants. Oratory skill was visible. Interpretation was quite prolific. And solution-centric, all of you have attempted. Time management, one or two cases were excessive, and the costumes were designed to deliver the purpose. So what we did was to take the outstanding, excellent, good and fair and poor. All these criteria we put is a weighted mark sheets we created, and we reached the same consensus. The third was announced. The second prize, any guess?
Any guess, participants? Any guess? Second.
Any guess on second? Okay, they're not. They're all muted. So what they want to say.
Yeah.
You know, the second prize for the National Castro 2020 virtual parliament goes to Sonu Mehta. Sonu Mehta is the
Sonu Mehta. Congratulations.
Can we see her? Please?
Yeah. Please focus Sonu Mehta. Sonu Mehta, sir. Sonu Mehta is the student of School of Excellence in Law, Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, and she is the one of the good orator, and then she's a great mooter in my university. So please project Sonu Mehta. Kindly please project Sonu Mehta. Host.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you to all the three of you. It was an honor, sir.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
Right.
Congratulations, Sonu Mehta. So the most awaited, the most expecting, the last till final, the national level first place, the national level first place, the national best parliamentarian of NCVIP 2020. Any guesses, participants? Who will be the first place? So now here comes our Honorable Justice A.H.M.D.Nawaz, President of the Court of Appeal, Sri Lanka, to announce the national level first place, the national best parliamentarian of NCVIP 2020.
Well, right. Thank you very much. There must be butterflies in the stomach at the moment, I believe. Right? Right. So let me also increase the tension a little bit. Well, we had a lot of mind-boggling judgments to make. In fact, the benchmarks that I had set down were the same as was done by Dr. Seetharaman: oratorical skills, interpretation, time management, costume, and the skills of articulating one's thoughts, the poise and the, you see, some of you projected the image of a parliamentarian and thought processes, the smooth way of saying things. You know, those are things. It's like I must say, these speeches, 10 minutes or otherwise, is like a one-day cricket match. You see, you have seen 2020. You have seen some best shots. You see, when Sachin Tendulkar walks in and then belts out you see some of the best shots in the air, right, which doesn't get caught, and then and he roams home. This is the point that we had in mind. So, but then I must, as my good friend Dr. Seetharaman said, none of you would go home as the loser. Every one of you interested us, right? Every one of you was so good, right? Okay. Now I see in the chat box, two people, right, have hazarded some guesses, right? Well, let me announce, right, without any further ado, right? Okay, the winner, Gopika Nambiar, of course.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And that's
Thank you so much, sir.
Right, that's what we took. And
please project Gopika Nambiar. Congratulations, Gopika Nambiar. Gopika Nambiar is the alumni of TNDALU and she's an advocate in High Court of Madras. Please project Gopika Nambiar. Host, please project Gopika Nambiar.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a great privilege and honor to be judged by all three of you. Thank you so much.
You are spot on. Absolutely, you are spot on, and your content was okay. Your oratory skill was absolutely solid.
Are you making submissions in court? Are you making submissions in court?
Yes, sir.
Right.
I started practicing.
Right. Good. I could see the effect of such submissions coming out in your articulations. Right. All the best.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Also, show a special compliment to Srinidhi. She also, at this age, since you mentioned Abhishek, she came across very well. That little girl,
ninth standard. She did really well.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. She was good. Right.
We should give a consolation prize for her.
Yes.
Being ninth standard.
Sure will do.
Thank you, sir.
All of you, Riddhi did well. Again, Harish also exhibited. So it just
you're good. You're very good, I must tell you. I was quite impressed by you, right? Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. So you will one day walk away with greatest honors in the future, right? You are a good speaker, I can say that. Right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Right. Very good.
Well done.
So we congratulate all the winners, Gopika Nambiar, Sonu Mehta, and then Sri Seeman, and then you all are winners. But based on the judging criteria and guideline selection, you may be top 3, but you all are winners. As Dr. Raghavan Seetharaman said, you all are not losers. Everybody is winners. So thank you so much.
You lose to win.
Yeah, and I request the judges to give some final words, 2-3 words to the participants as a whole. Final conclusion remarks of the judges.
I think everybody did well, and a great speaker, of course, hones his skills with the passage of time. And when you speak, they say that you must speak with the passion. Right, with the passion of the words that you sent out. Only then your speech becomes quite meaningful. If you don't put anything into the speech and just come out as empty words, you won't impress. So impressive words are not enough unless you couple it with enthusiasm, vim, vigor, and vitality. I could see all that in this little girl and everybody who spoke. So much information, so much passion, right? So many things to learn from you and Swami Vivekananda and all those Trivalluvar, everything I was able to recall and to relish with some lot of pleasure, happiness, and joy. Once again, thank you very much for every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. So we expect final words, conclusion marks from Dr. Raghavan Seetharaman.
Well, it's truly gratifying to see the new generation has been so well equipped and they are very focused. I admire them, and that's the logic I could. And all of you, I mean, Divya did well, like everyone. I mean, there's no exception to the frame. It's very difficult to distinguish among you all, and you are all going to drive the new world, and your future is bright. I can tell you, this is a thought leadership you have sitting in your frame, and you are going to be more successful in the coming days. And the new world will give you bigger opportunities. Please be rest assured. Keep humanity in your mind always. We are an integral part of society. And make sure you're compassionate, value-driven. Everything is principle-centered. If you do that, the world is so beautiful. Every day is inspirational. Everyone think productively, and the world becomes more unique. And I want you to take this piece of journey, very short journey that Justice was mentioning. It's a very short journey. We're all in this planet. And let's together make it more interesting and exciting, create a better legacy time and again. To have the ingredients, I could see yesterday, I could see all the video clips, and the energy levels are very positive and productive and constructive. God bless you all and wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Advocate R.Prabhakaran, Advocate Supreme Court of India, to give his conclusion marks.
Thank you so much for Justice Nawaz and Dr. Seetharaman for giving consent despite the hectic busy schedule. And all the participants have demonstrated their extreme talent, potential. It is unleashing their potential. And more than that, always there is a scope for improvement. So I think winning is not final, failure is not fatal. So at the end of the day, if everybody start progressing or think in the right centric manner with the principles, I think we are all bound to succeed together. Thank you so much.
Now I will deliver the vote of thanks. I sincerely thank from the bottom of my heart Honorable Justice A.H.M.D.Nawaz, President of the Court of Appeal, Sri Lanka, Dr. Raghavan Seetharaman, sir, CEO of Doha Bank, and Advocate R.Prabhakaran, sir, Advocate Supreme Court of India, for consenting to be the judge and chief guest of the finals. Really means a lot, sir. It's such an empowering session with you, and it was really a great motivation to the young India and young generation. We believe we will make and we will manifest all your words in actions, and we will make our nation very proud. Jai Hind, and all the best for the participants, and thank you so much, all the judges, all the chief guests. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Now we will end the meeting.
Thank you so
much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.